online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476, silver at $16.94, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,236. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, drug recognition experts are arresting innocent, sober people for DUI at an alarming rate, all based on a hunch. According to ABC 15 Arizona, stone-cold sober drivers in Phoenix, Arizona are getting DUIs and have to spend thousands of dollars proving their innocence. It seems the source of the misunderstandings and illegitimate arrests come from drug recognition experts. Those are cops with badges and fancy titles who claim they can look at a motorist and on observation alone determine if someone is impaired. Activists post reports that testimony from DREs often holds up in court, without so much as a failed breathalyzer or a dirty toxicology report showing alcohol and drugs in someone's system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Oakland City Council President Rebecca Kaplan recently suggested a plan to house up to 1,000 people from the city's homeless population on a cruise ship. But officials with the Port of Oakland have disputed the proposal, calling it untenable. The Mind Unleashed reports that during a recent meeting, Kaplan told members of the city council that she has already been in contact with cruise ship companies about the possibility of using their vessels for emergency housing for the city's homeless. Kaplan suggested that the ship could work similarly to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, a large old ship that is now docked in the harbor, acting as a hotel for tourists and other visitors to the area. Many members of the council are on board with the proposal, but it would need to be approved by the Port of Oakland, and they seem reluctant to allow such a cruise ship to dock in their port for an extended period of time. Mike Zampa, a spokesman for the port, told the Chronicle that Oakland's port was designed for cargo ships, not cruise ships. Oakland has seen a huge spike in homelessness over the past 2 years, with the number of people on the street rising from 1,902 to 3,210. For years, professional athletes have been subjected to drug tests that screen for cannabis. The Major League Baseball organization has now announced their new drug testing policies and associated penalties. Until now, the MLB was one of the few major sporting leagues that did not test its players for recreational drugs. While they did have an official list of banned substances for many years, they only actually tested their players for performance-enhancing drugs. The Mind Unleashed reports that's all going to change this year, when they begin to test their players for cocaine and opiates. However, the league says that cannabis will be removed from their list of banned drugs and will be considered a recreational substance like alcohol. One ironic twist is that synthetic cannabis compounds will be screened for and treated as an abusive substance, as such chemicals have been known to be very harmful. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
On May 22, 1992, beloved talk show host Johnny Carson ended his 30-year run of hosting The Tonight Show with a farewell episode that included special guests Saddam Hussein, KKK Grand Wizard Virgil E. Griffin, and a musical performance by the Flag. On May 24, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge opened, providing New Yorkers with a more efficient way of killing themselves and escaping their trash-ridden excrement-cake city. The monument's historic opening was marked by hundreds of people jumping 275 feet to their deaths in order to avoid waking up every morning with the smell of horse filling their nostrils.
Before the Brooklyn Bridge, there were very few ways for New Yorkers to free themselves from the cesspool in which they lived. One method was to tie cinder blocks on their legs and walk into the Hudson River. But of course, the banks of the Hudson were so brimming with garbage and raw sewage that the putrid stench would drive back even the most desperate suicide seeker.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And the Reverend Captain Kickass.
And libertarians disagree a lot on whether or not voting is acceptable.
They do. And it also varies depending on the type and style of voting. And by that, I mean, are you voting for, say, a president versus, you know, your local mayor, you know, that kind of a thing.
Right, because I vote in local elections. But when it comes to presidential votes, it's a throwaway, right? Like I voted for John McAfee in 2016 in the state of Mississippi, by the way, as a write-in.
All right.
And they throw all write-in votes into the trash. So I knew when I went that it was completely pointless. I don't even know why I did it.
Wait,
in hindsight.
Do they literally like take, you know, the paper and throw it into a can? I mean,
well, they don't count them. They just delete them.
Then why even?
Why did I even bother to go?
No. I mean, like as an organization, why even like have a thing? Why waste? There's got to be paperwork or postage. Did you mail it in? Did you go? You know?
I went. Mississippi is really screwed up in how it handles voting. There are only the electronic machines.
Okay.
The very easy to rig, easy to manipulate machines. There's no paper record of your vote whatsoever.
Huh.
So for all you know, you write in John McAfee and it puts you down for Donald Trump or whoever.
Right, Mickey Mouse or whatever, right? Yeah.
There's no way of knowing because there's no way of auditing it. It's completely screwed up, and I was not a fan of it. I like the paper ballots here in New Hampshire so much better.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't intend to vote for anyone for president in 2020 because that legitimizes the system that I want to dissolve.
It's really ironic for me. Ironic, I don't know if that's the right word. But prior to sort of coming out of the fog of statism, as I like to call it, about 10 or 11 years ago or so, I didn't vote for president. And in fact, I didn't really vote for even, you know, local, politicians, mayors, you know, that kind of a thing, sheriff, et cetera, and so on. It was just because politics disgusts me, right? Whenever I see politicians, I get this sense, if you will, that they're used car salesmen. I don't know if you've ever been to a used car sales lot and met a shady used car salesman, right? The atypical, the stereotype, right?
When I was 18, I bought a used Camaro from one of these. Yeah. So you can, yes, I have indeed dealt with one of these sleazy people.
So that's how I've just always felt about politicians in general. You can just smell the lies, right? You can smell the I'm in it for me. You can smell the, whatever you want to call it. It just, it feels wrong. And so when I did come out of the fog of statism, I realized that, even democracy is forcing your preference on other people, right? 51% telling the other 49 what they can and can't do. And so if we say things like, it's never okay to force your preference upon another individual, well, voting is a mechanism that does just that. And so if you subscribe to the non-aggression principle, it makes sense for me. I have the logic that says, okay, I'm not going to aggress on other people. And therefore, I'm not going to vote because it forces my preference upon other people, or at least attempts to, right? If I vote a certain way, oh, this person is going to, make these other people have to do this thing. Well, then I'm guilty of aggressing upon those people. So that's how I see it.
I would agree, and this is why I prefer the concept of voting with the dollar or voting with the wallet, however one wishes to characterize it.
Yes.
Except that can also become aggression in itself if you have enough money and other people don't have enough, right? If you control 51% of the money supply, which extremely unlikely without a state making that true in the first place, but you could, through economic means alone, coerce and manipulate people and essentially aggress against them, because coercion is aggression.
Right. And especially if it's, government money, right, as opposed to any other kind of currency that you might decide to use.
Right. And that's a problem, I think, that a lot of anarcho-capitalists don't want to deal with, is the reality that money can indeed be used as a tool of aggression.
It can, and particularly government money, right? Because, right.
It's harder with, Bitcoin. But even so, if Satoshi Nakamoto had wanted to, he could have given himself 51% of all Bitcoin.
Right.
But
what I like about the cryptos, of course, is that there is choice. There's thousands of cryptocurrencies now. So, if one gets manipulated in such a way that it becomes coercive, or some whale gets a hold of, the majority of one type of cryptocurrency, everybody can just go to another one. You can't do that with state-sponsored currencies, right?
Right.
The other thing about state-sponsored currencies is none of them are backed by anything, right? I think probably the geographic area known as the United States of America had, past tense, had one of the best ideas, and that was the gold-backed currency, right? Here, we'll give you a piece of paper, but if you bring this piece of paper to a bank, we'll give you that amount of gold.
Yeah.
It was basically an IOU for a set quantity of gold.
Which is the way that banks are supposed to operate, because you can't carry around.
We're long past that. I mean, not in our lifetimes. We've never seen that. We might see something like a currency collector. Here, look, it's an actual silver note, right? The silver certificates.
Well, there's also the Utah gold packs that you can buy now.
Right. And I have a couple of those, and they are really cool.
Yes, they are. But
they are really
no
cool.
one accepts them. I have yet to try to go into a store and spend them, but that's because the face value of the currency is significantly out of proportion to its dollar value.
Right. The smallest one is the 1/1000th, and it's worth like $3 right now or something like that.
Something like that. I think the 5 is worth 15, 20.
Yeah. And it'll fluctuate with the price of gold, of course, in the USD. But my point about the state-sponsored currencies is that the only thing it's backed by is the full force and violence of the military.
Yes.
That's how it gets its value. People are like, well, I don't like cryptocurrency because it's not backed by anything. Well, do you want your currency to be backed by violence, murder, right? Because that's the currency you're currently using.
I was out at the bar one night with some friends, and we were discussing Bitcoin, because anytime I'm around, the conversation of Bitcoin usually happens at some point in some manner. And she says that she doesn't believe in Bitcoin. So I was like, well, I don't know what you mean.
As if Bitcoin's like right. Santa Claus or something.
Like the Bitcoin just paid for everybody's drinks, but let's go with it. What do you mean? And she's like, well, it's not backed by anything. I was like, well, neither is the USD. And you could almost see her inability to reconcile that reality because of the statism stronghold in her mind, saying, no, I believe my government backs my money, so I'm just going to believe that.
Yeah. Well, and as happens to many people who try to talk about subjects, they simply regurgitate whatever it is they've been fed. This happens on a weekly basis with sports ball, right? So,
right.
And I do pay attention to some sports ball. I have a favorite team, et cetera, and so on. But when I get into discussions with other sports ball people, because I read a bunch, right? I hear them saying exactly what all of the writers around sports ball and the reporters around sports ball have said. And all they're doing is regurgitating those facts and figure, or those opinions, more importantly, right? Because that's what they've been fed. And it changes exactly when the reporters change their, narrative, right? And so it's amazing. You can see and hear the brainwashing, right? And the same thing goes for voting, right? Particularly with the presidential election and in an election year, right? You can week by week, day by day, have political conversations with folks who are Republicans, Democrats, undecided, or whatever it is. They're paying attention to the circus that is the presidential campaigns. And they do the same thing. They regurgitate whatever the reporters have fed them, right? They watch the news at night, they read the paper in the morning, or their favorite blog, website, whatever it is, and they just regurgitate whatever was fed to them the day before, the week before.
Well, that's how the Russia story, the collusion story, got so popular in the first place, is people just, regurgitating that. What amazes me is that there are young Democrats out there who honestly believe that President Sanders would cancel all college student debt. Do you believe that? Let us know. I want to know why you're so insane. 855-450-3733.
Have you ever wanted to work when you wanted to work instead of having to report to an office? Have you ever felt trapped by relationship rules like monogamy? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, live, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
And the captain.
And I want to tell you about the Edge wallet. It's the mobile wallet that I use. In fact, I have been using Coinami to make payments in my day-to-day life here at places that accept cryptocurrency. But lately, I've removed Coinami from the rotation and just used the Edge wallet because I got kind of sick of having to enter my enormous password every time I wanted to send money with Coinami. And with the Edge wallet, it's just a quick swipe to the left and you're done. It's wonderful. It's available for both iOS and Android. It allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrency. It's user-controlled. You always have your money. You know, it's not like one of those Coinbase wallets or something like that. It's always your money fully. So if you are ridiculous and you throw away your password or whatever, you lost your own money, but it's still your money to lose. So it supports Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. It's got a veteran team that's been working on it since 2014. So go check it out. Again, that's edge.app, or look it up on the Google Play or Apple stores.
I'm not going to waste our listeners' time bashing Coinbase's wallet, but it does suck. It's a horrible wallet. I've attempted to pay for something locally with it, and it just wasn't happening. And I had to send myself Bitcoin from my Coinbase app to my Edge wallet before I could make my purchase.
I haven't used Coinbase essentially since I got to New Hampshire.
It's a horrible app.
Yeah, there are better ways to get cryptocurrency for me now. But when I was in Mississippi, that was the only real option. And I was a fan of Coinbase, even knowing that they rolled over ultimately and gave the information to the IRS wanted, because Coinbase was providing a valuable service to the cryptocurrency community.
Yes.
They were the gatekeepers.
Yes.
They protected the normal people, the grandmothers, from things like Stellar and other and Dogecoin and things like that they wouldn't understand. They go in to buy Bitcoin. Coinbase had only Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin.
Right.
Major coins, well known in the cryptocurrency community and some progress in the wider world. But now they've added support for all sorts of crap.
Yeah. Well, and they've gone full KYC. So when I signed up for Coinbase, they had no KYC whatsoever. It was literally first name, last name, email address, that kind of a thing. And then, if you wanted to buy over a certain limit, then they might ask you for some more information or to, quote, verify, unquote, your account or whatever. But the progress from there just went downhill to where there is absolutely no privacy. They're as bad as a bank as far as I'm concerned with all of that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I still have a Coinbase account because it's still the easiest way to turn fiat into crypto, in a jiffy, if you will. I have more options now that I'm here, of course, but
I can assist you with that at any time.
I understand, and I'm sure that will happen more often than not. But it's 4 a.m. I need okay, I can make it happen.
That's the only reason I still have my Coinbase account, is if I'm like 0.1 Bitcoin Cash short of what I need to complete a sale or something.
But I do make an effort to keep most of my crypto off of their platform because when it is on their platform, you don't own your keys, and if it's not your keys, it's not your money.
Well, let's go to the phones. We got Robert calling from Bellas Falls, Vermont. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live.
Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's on your mind?
So the other day I was on and I didn't get a chance to finish. There was another subject I want to bring up. The captain was there, but but it ended, and I think it was probably towards the end of the hour. But it was a story that came out of Kentucky. The then former governor, Matt Bivens, he lost the race. I don't know if it was this year or last year, whatever it was. But he went ahead, before he left, he pardoned and gave out commutations to hundreds and hundreds of inmates. Did you guys catch that at all?
I did not.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, the story is like.
I mean, to me, that's great. Pardon everyone.
Well, it
burn the
pardon
prisons.
Everyone, but the state of Kentucky, the people they're really in an uproar about what this guy did.
Well, a state is going to state.
But the interesting thing is that this guy said he went through, all of these files and stuff like that, and just found that a lot of interesting things. Like one case he talked about a little bit where the evidence was just not there. It was just only what people said that this person did.
Yeah, real quick, I just pulled up an article from NPR, National Public Radio, that is, NPR.org. On his way out, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin pardons murderers, rapists, and hundreds more. That's the headline.
Good. I mean, he should have pardoned everyone, in my opinion.
He should have. And some of the people that he pardoned, were people that have been out for, 20, 30 years. So what difference does that make? And he should pardon everyone.
Wouldn't that eliminate their criminal record?
Well, from what I understand, it gives a person like a whole brand new life. Their record is completely wiped clean. They're not a felon. They don't.
I'm not hearing a downside.
Oh, I don't hear it. It used to be. Of course, I wasn't around then, but like back in the 1800s, if you did like a stint 5 years for like a bank robbery, when you got out, after a year of being out, you were pardoned by the governor in any one of the states. Now it's not like that anymore.
We have a lot more people in prison now, largely because of the drug war, but the prison population has been climbing consistently since at least the start of the drug war.
Exactly. And this is a lot of this was caused, because of Nancy Reagan and, pushing, the, legalization harder on marijuana and stuff like that. And now we're finding out that, cannabis is, it's healthy for you and it does a lot of wonderful things, but it's those kind of things. They're victimless crimes.
Yeah, I remember Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign. It was very prevalent back in my youth.
I mean, that works really well up until the person is 13 years old.
This particular...
Right, that I understand, but like I said, depending on how much you read into this in terms of what he said on Twitter, a lot of the things that he said was, that it was what people said that someone did.
Well, and this seems to me, and I've just only sort of breezed over this article presented by NPR, and, everybody's got their own agenda when they publish things like this. But if it were me, I would have pardoned all of the nonviolent criminals. There's something to be said for, a convicted child rapist to remain in, a prison for reasons, that kind of a thing. But this seems to me, because he didn't do that, more like he's just hurling a giant middle finger in the air at his opponent in the political race.
Which I'm totally fine with. I mean, if you want to give your opponent the middle finger by pardoning a bunch of people, by all means. Anyway, when we get back here in a moment, we're going to talk about reasons why you should not vote. Why voting is aggression. 855-450-FREE, as in freedom.
Has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And L Captain Kick-Ass.
And I love local.bitcoin.com. I rarely shut up about it, really. Every single day.
I'm told you're the top dog over yonder.
I am. I am the top seller in the world.
Well done.
Local.bitcoin.com. It's a trading platform that allows people to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash using a bunch of different payment methods: Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Google Pay, remittances, bank deposits, meeting in person with cash, and a bunch of others. It's a really long list. And there's no KYC. Know your customer policies. You can just sign up with an email address and immediately get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash. It's really simple. They actually care about your privacy. All communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. and the keys to the chat get destroyed 7 days after the sale is completed.
That's awesome.
It is. I absolutely love it. And what we've discovered recently is that they don't just do that. They appear to also flush your wallet addresses from time to time. Yeah. So they don't have a record of how much Bitcoin Cash I've moved through their system.
Taking a lesson from the VPN providers, right, who do all that. They purge all their logs every X amount of days or whatever, right? Yeah.
It does get frustrating because I do kind of need to keep a record of that sort of thing, but it's just a little bit more front-end work on my part.
Yeah.
So go check it out, local.bitcoin.com. Get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash. Don't be looking at it in 5 years saying, oh, I wish I had bought Bitcoin Cash back when it was $200. Well, go buy it, like right now, local.bitcoin.com. It's a fantastic site. So we're talking about reasons not to vote. Coming to us from notbeinggoverned.com. The first reason is that if one votes, one participates. If one participates, one condones and endorses the process, and subsequently, what those elected representatives do and say in your name.
Right. This is for the people who say, well, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Well, it's the exact opposite of that. Like, if you voted, you can't complain because you voted, you participated. I, on the other hand, the guy who didn't vote, I can complain all day and night because I didn't participate. And I can look and laugh at all you other bastards who did participate and go, hey, you wanted a ruler, you got one.
Yeah, for people who don't vote, it's like, look, man, I was just going on about my life, and you did this thing, and you imposed your rule upon me. I can complain about that, yes.
Yes, absolutely. And you would be well within your rights. However, if you voted and you didn't get your preferred ruler of choice, then you literally have no right to complain in that instance.
Well, number two, electoral promises are meaningless because politicians are able to lie to gain the favor of the electorate and then do exactly what they want once they have it. Well, duh. Who was it that said that the Republic was doomed as soon as people realized they could vote themselves money?
Oh, I don't remember, but I remember I've heard that quote before. Yes.
And then here comes Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang. Bernie Sanders, of course, is trying to convince young people all around the country that he is going to actually wipe out student loan debt.
Yeah, and I heard, what the hell is that bastard's name? Tom Steyer, right? This is
that
this
guy
is so
who,
funny. He's like, hey, there's very few women in your political structure, Congress, senators, et cetera, and so on, and there's very few people of color, brown, black, yellow, whatever. However, vote for me, an old white guy, and I will change all of that. Like, if you don't smell the BS coming off that hot steaming pile of garbage, then something's wrong with your schnoz.
I absolutely have to find that video now because that sounds... I've seen him in Facebook ads when I'm just scrolling through my feed or whatever, but I just ignore them and keep scrolling because that's the only context in which I've heard about the guy in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like he's not Tulsi Gabbard here, who I would vote for. Let me clarify my position on this because some people don't get it. I would not vote for her in the presidential election because I don't believe in imposing rulers on other people. I would, however, vote for her in the Democratic primary, and I intend to. And the reason for that is because if other people are going to impose a ruler upon me, and I have the option to choose which of those rulers it's going to be, I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm not imposing my will on anyone because I'm not voting for the president. I'm just voting for who will get the presidential nomination. And it won't be Tulsi Gabbard anyway, so it's still just me throwing away my vote.
That's true. And then we've got, what's her name? The hated Elizabeth Warren, right?
Yes.
She's doing this thing now where she's like, I'm going to give everybody who collects Social Security a $200 a month raise, and I'm going to do it by taxing the richest 2%, right? And it's like, every time that's been tried, that not only has that not happened, but it's not even necessary. How about you just reduce the amount of money you put into the giant murdering behemoth known as the military by 1% and give everybody a $500 a month increase, because that's more doable than what she is proposing.
They know what will happen, Right. If they attempt to tax billionaires, they know what billionaires will do. What they always do, they will put their money in offshore bank accounts.
Yeah. Or finance the competition to that person who's promising to tax them, right? How am I going to best make use of my political dollar? I'm going to give it to the person that's not running on a campaign to tax me more, right? Because that's how billionaires think.
Yeah. And if all else fails, maybe they'll buy crypto.
Well, and, we hear a bunch of lies, right? We heard, Trump going to drain the swamp and, all that kind of crap.
Well, the best one was Obama coming out as this largely anti-war candidate. And I realize because of his behavior in office, a lot of people have forgotten that. But yes, the reason that because I did vote for him in 2008, back when I was a statist, the reason that we voted for him was because he was supposed to fix our foreign policy. He was supposed to end the wars, right? It wasn't because we were mad at Wall Street. That came later.
Every president in the history of presidents since I've been alive has increased the number of bombs and the amount of military and how much murder is committed in the name of the, quote, citizens, unquote, of the United States of America.
See, I was young and naive then. I actually owe Barack Obama a huge gratitude because
of gratitude. Nice.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that all the time, so you're forgiven.
Because he was the reason that I realized that politicians are just going to lie.
Well, my favorite mindless Obamaton lie, and that's a lie told by Barack Obama during his campaign, was the whole. A lot of folks aren't going to remember this because you're brainwashed into forgetting it 2 weeks after it happens.
Right.
His bit about whenever a bill comes across my desk, I'm going to put it online, and you're going to be able to see it, for 30 days before it's put up for a vote, which never happened, right? And when I mention this to people who voted for Obama, they're like, that didn't happen. And then no, you just go Google it. There it is. It's right there. It's right there.
I believe it. And Trump promised to drain the swamp and build the wall and all of this other
nonsense.
And
didn't both Obama and Trump claim that they were going to close Guantanamo?
Yes. Well, Barack Obama promised that he was going to, and he never did.
Right.
And that was the lie that he produced that I'm most angry about him breaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the United States military is torturing people there,
still.
holding them illegally. And Barack Obama promised to stop that, and he had the opportunity and the power to stop it, and chose not to.
There were so many people upset about Guantanamo. What happened to those people? Where did they go? They're not loud about it now. It's not even an issue, apparently.
Well, it's like the anti-war movement. There used to be a lot of people who were upset about Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
Yeah, where did they go? Why are they not still upset?
Do you know where the anti-war movement went? I don't. 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. Or if you want clearer qualities, you can sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us by going to the Discord lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing, manufacturing space, retail space, or more. Call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind using our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in free of aggression. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And the artist currently and formerly, wait, no, can it be both?
It might as well be.
Anyway, I'm Captain Kickass.
Esquire. Captain the Reverend speaking.
We got more show to do. I'll vamp on it a little bit.
So we've been talking about reasons not to vote because doesn't the Free State Project kind of require libertarians to come here and vote?
Requires kind of a loaded word for that.
For it to be successful doing what it wants to do.
The idea is to get a whole bunch of liberty lovers to the geographic area known as New Hampshire and vote the bastards out. And I've heard... start a secession movement.
So
that's how I understand sort of the goals of, or the stated goals of that movement.
The problem with this, as I see it, is that so many libertarians are in fact opposed to voting.
Yes.
And I wouldn't vote for a libertarian candidate who promised that they were just going to seize power long enough to abolish the state. You know, that's That's what the communists have always said as they seize power. We're just seizing power temporarily so that we can establish the paradise that we all want.
There's nothing so permanent as a temporary government program.
Right. And I imagine that would be true of most libertarians as well.
I mean, you know what might get me to vote is if voting to secede from the United States of America were an actual thing. Right.
I would vote in that.
If New Hampshire were in a position where there were enough people here and that particular topic was on the table, you know, an NH exit, if you will, not to be confused with whatever the mayor is doing, where he's trying to rename and renumber the exits off the freeways.
Well, that's happening.
That's a different NH exit. I'm talking about the Brexit equivalent for New Hampshire, where New Hampshire is just declaring itself a sovereign and independent country from the rest of what's known as the United States of America. I might be compelled to vote for that.
That's a good point.
Despite my objection to voting in any other way, shape, or form, really.
I mean, when we talk about voting, are we talking about voting for representatives, or are we talking about voting on referendums and things of that nature? And at what level are these representatives functioning? Because I vote in local elections, because usually I know the people personally that I'm voting for.
Have you, I've worked in an office environment a bunch, and I've seen voting go horribly wrong, just even in an office, you know, sort of workplace environment. You know, something gets put up for vote. Hey, how should we decorate for Christmas this year? Right? Something, you know, some human resources person will come up with some ridiculous thing. Oh, yeah, we'll have people vote on it. It'll be fun, right? And it always goes horrifically wrong, right? The results come in and, you know, whatever's decided is decided. And then they have to make an exception. Like, oh, well, Joey's vegan, so we can't have any, you know, I don't know, reindeer or something, you know.
Right.
It's all, they always start making exceptions or changing the winning in some way, shape, or form, you know, even though it was a, quote, fair, unquote, election or voting process, right? There is nothing more stupid on the face of the planet than human beings in large numbers making important decisions.
Agreed wholeheartedly. So, other reasons not to vote.
Wait, we only got through number 2, right? Are we on 3? Okay.
We are going on to 3. The act of voting grants legitimacy to the idea that it's acceptable for the majority, the collective, to use the coercive arm of the state to impose their will on the minority using force or threats of force, and for that reason, it's immoral to vote. Now, see, that's where people lose me. I don't think it's immoral to vote. That's like saying because it matters how you vote, right? It's like saying that shooting a gun is immoral because you can use a gun to shoot and injure someone, right? You can also use a vote to shoot and injure someone, but that isn't necessarily how you have to use your vote. Their statement that voting is immoral, that includes me going and voting for John McAfee, even though it's getting thrown into the trash. That act by itself is immoral. So they're essentially saying that it's immoral to load a gun and pull a trigger because it's immoral to load a gun pointed at someone's head and pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this particular instance, the article is speaking about people who, you know, vote in sort of a, you know.
But he mentions the act of voting, and that's why I did all of that I just said, because so many people do equate voting to using voting to initiate aggression against people. But one can also vote with their wallet, you know? If voting is immoral, then so is capitalism. Because capitalism is just a system by which people vote with their wallets.
Some people would agree with you.
Most libertarians would not, however.
Isn't capitalism, though, like a term coined by communists?
Yes.
So, like, you know.
Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it.
It's a lot of baggage to unpack.
Okay, then the free market is immoral, then.
I don't see spending my money as a vote, right? I get that it's a euphemism, right? It's like, oh, you can vote with your feet. You can vote with your dollar, right? These are all things that you could, should, and would be able to do in an actual free market that doesn't equate pointing the guns of government at your fellow man to get your way.
Right. Because there are different types of voting. I mean, there are different types
of currency, right? I mean, unless you're exclusively referring to the state-sponsored currency, right? You could vote with your dollar, quote unquote, just by choosing to use a different currency.
Yes, by using Bitcoin, you can,
for example,
in fact, vote with your wallet against the state. Hopefully, by bleeding it dry and letting it dissolve of its own accord. That's what would happen if everyone switched to cryptocurrency.
Yes.
The state would wither away and die.
Yes. And we could ignore them out of existence.
Yeah. We wouldn't have to use aggression. There wouldn't have to be a violent revolution that would just lead to another state. There wouldn't have to be any politicians being beheaded or anything horrific and immoral like that. Just bleed it dry by not using its money.
Yeah.
Other reasons, a non-voter emerges from the electoral process with a clean conscience.
That's me.
Because they can legitimately proclaim that the elected representatives subsequently say and do different things after they gained power. Good Lord, he phrased this so strangely.
Yeah, what he means is
the politicians are not doing any of their shenanigans in your name.
Well, and in this day and age of technology, my question for the statist folks is always, why can't I represent myself? Like I have in my hand right now, I have a device in which I can search arguably the sum total of mankind's knowledge at any moment. I can send the value of my labor or my efforts around the world in seconds.
Right?
But for some reason, I'm not able or capable or allowed to represent me. Why do I need a frickin' to cast a vote for some douchebag that's not going to do what he says he's going to do anyway? Why can't I just represent myself when it comes to these matters?
And let's not forget, of course, that politicians are experts in nothing, right? Would you want your doctor to diagnose your automobile? Of course not. Your doctor has a specialty, right? Politicians don't. And yet they're constantly creating legislation that does, in fact, interfere with your automobile, with your cell phone, with your health care, and all of these other things that they know nothing about, like the Republican guy who wanted some type of pregnancy to be reimplanted into women or something. I don't know, because it was lunacy from the first place. And then when he gets challenged on it in the House of Representatives, he says, well, I didn't even know what that was. Well, you wrote a bill about it.
No, I believe he said, the quote was, how should I know? I'm not a doctor.
Yes. So just maybe we should have doctors and patients discussing their pregnancy and what the best mechanisms are in their circumstances to deal with that, instead of politicians who admit to knowing nothing about it. And those are the people writing other laws.
And just a side pet peeve of mine is people who refer to politicians as leaders.
Yeah, they're not leaders; they're rulers.
There's a couple of problems that I have with this, but they are not leaders. If anything, they are con men.
Yeah, a leader is someone you choose to follow. Yes. A ruler is someone you don't.
Well, and you should follow yourself. Be your own leader.
I would agree entirely, but not everyone is as independent and autonomous. Some people want leaders.
Okay.
To each their own. 855-450-3733. Agreed entirely. More reasons not to force it on people in just a moment.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit Anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476, silver at $16.94, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,236. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, drug recognition experts are arresting innocent sober people for DUI at an alarming rate, all based on a hunch. According to ABC 15 Arizona, stone-cold sober drivers in Phoenix, Arizona are getting DUIs and have to spend thousands of dollars proving their innocence. It seems the source of the misunderstandings and illegitimate arrests come from drug recognition experts. Those are cops with badges and fancy titles who claim they can look at a motorist and on observation alone determine if someone is impaired. Activists post reports that testimony from DREs often holds up in court, without so much as a failed breathalyzer or a dirty toxicology report showing alcohol and drugs in someone's system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Oakland City Council President Rebecca Kaplan recently suggested a plan to house up to 1,000 people from the city's homeless population on a cruise ship. But officials with the Port of Oakland have disputed the proposal, calling it untenable. The Mind Unleashed reports that during a recent meeting, Kaplan told members of the city council that she has already been in contact with cruise ship companies about the possibility of using their vessels for emergency housing for the city's homeless. Kaplan suggested that the ship could work similarly to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, a large old ship that is now docked in the harbor, acting as a hotel for tourists and other visitors to the area. Many members of the council are on board with the proposal, but it would need to be approved by the Port of Oakland, and they seem reluctant to allow such a cruise ship to dock in their port for an extended period of time. Mike Zampa, a spokesman for the port, told the Chronicle that Oakland's port was designed for cargo ships, not cruise ships. Oakland has seen a huge spike in homelessness over the past 2 years, with the number of people on the street rising from 1,902 to 3,210. For years, professional athletes have been subjected to drug tests that screen for cannabis. The Major League Baseball organization has now announced their new drug testing policies and associated penalties. Until now, the MLB was one of the few major sporting leagues that did not test its players for recreational drugs. While they did have an official list of banned substances for many years, they only actually tested their players for performance-enhancing drugs. The Mind Unleashed reports that's all going to change this year when they begin to test their players for cocaine and opiates. However, the league says that cannabis will be removed from their list of banned drugs and will be considered a recreational substance like alcohol. One ironic twist is that synthetic cannabis compounds will be screened for and treated as an abusive substance, as such chemicals have been known to be very harmful. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Take the Field's mission is to inform baseball players that physical activity is nothing to be scared of, that a little bit of running can be fun.
Now, Rebecca, this obesity problem is nothing new.
Well, right, there is a culture of obesity in baseball that has been around for years. I mean, coaches even sub in healthy pinch runners instead of encouraging their overweight players to hustle, depriving them of the only cardiovascular exercise they might have a chance to get.
And a lot of these athletes have been playing baseball since they were kids.
Well, right, so they might have never learned any healthy habits.
Baseball is fine in moderation, but many of these men spend over 200 days a year playing it, and that adds up.
The program encourages players once an hour to take a 15-minute break from baseball to do something active, like go up and down some stairs, go for a walk, or play some basketball.
All right, well, thanks, Rebecca. If you're a baseball coach and you're worried about your players' health, go to takethefield.gov for a list of healthy activities and nutritious snacks. Coming up next, does America brains get worse hearing words correct?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Dave's not here, man.
And you may have noticed, but I'm a bit of an anarchist.
What?
I don't care much for the state.
Huh. Weird.
In general, I tend to ignore the state. And I know that that's only possible because the state is so big and the population is so big that it can't actually monitor everyone as it will one day. But at the moment,
sure trying.
It's quite easy to go about your life however you want for a brief period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the state will catch up to you because that's what the state does.
Yep.
Jay Noon talks about it a lot on Wednesday nights. Like, he doesn't have a license because he doesn't have a birth certificate or social security number or any of this stuff. And that works. But eventually they're going to find you and throw you in jail.
Yeah.
So the whole state apparatus needs to be dissolved.
I agree.
And my preferred method of doing that is cryptocurrency. But before we can actually abolish the state, well, I mean, there will be more elections. Before the state actually withers and dies by being bled to death by cryptocurrency, there will definitely be more elections. And the more people who participate in those elections, the more legitimized they become socially.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at reasons here from notbeinggoverned.com about why one shouldn't vote. Do you have this pulled up in front of you?
I do.
Can you go?
I can. What are we, number 4?
Yes.
A non-voter emerges from the electoral process with a clean conscience. We covered this one already, didn't we? Because
yes, we had actually just ended on number 4. Sorry about that.
All right. No, we'll go to 5. Number 5 on the top 20 reasons not to vote here on Free Talk Live. To not vote does not, all caps, mean one relinquishes the right to then comment on, complain about, or protest the actions of the government. It is completely the other way around. When one votes, one effectively makes a contractual agreement. The voter is officially recorded doing so, which hands over the right for someone else to speak and act in their name, and as such, assents whatever the government does thereafter. Assents to. A non-voter, however, has not done so and therefore retains the right to complain, object, and protest all they want.
Strictly speaking, I don't think that's actually true. I don't think his reasoning there holds up.
Well, what he's alluding to is that if you do vote, you've scribed your name to say that, oh, I consent to the system ruling over us.
Well, I can sign a sheet of paper saying I consent to have someone else speak on my behalf anyway. I mean, that's essentially what a power of attorney is.
Yes.
And I can always retract that, That is the issue with the state.
I don't know that you can always retract it.
Well, I wouldn't sign it over unless I could retract it, right?
Right.
But because of how the American system is set up, they are rare, but there are ways to recall elected candidates. So it's not like a forever thing where, oh, you voted for this candidate, so now you can't complain because you gave them the right to speak in your name. It's like, okay, but I hereby nullify that contract because he's not keeping his agreement.
Yeah, and this is, just the fact that it sparks this much, discourse about the topic is enough of a reason for me not to vote. Right?
Sure.
It's like, oh, you've done that. No, I've done nothing of the sort.
It's a good point.
In music, oftentimes I've discovered that sometimes it's best to leave a space, right? Have a rest. Have nobody do anything, right? A moment of silence in between one part and the next part. And if you do it and you use it effectively, it makes the whole song, right?
Right.
As a musician, you're inclined to fill the space with all the musical stuff that you can possibly, because you want to write a good song. But sometimes, what you don't do is far more important than what you actually do. And to the point of number 5, I do not relinquish the right to comment on, complain about, or protest the actions of government, whether or not I vote.
Yeah. Plus the contract that you're signing by voting gives you the right, in fact, to complain about those politicians.
Well, particularly if the guy or gal that you voted for doesn't win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Another really good.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that from anybody, right? Whatever president has been elected. Well, I didn't vote for that person. Yeah, I didn't vote for him. That guy's
Neither
an idiot,
did I.
right? And I can say that in all circumstances, right? So in effect, a non-voter is having the voters' preferences forced upon them.
Yeah.
Number 6, participation in the system reinforces the idea that people can't live together without violent control, which is, I can't argue with that. If you participate in the system, it's reinforcing the idea that people can't live together without violent control.
Isn't it curious that the whole argument these people use is that we can't have a civilized society without horrifically uncivilized acts?
Right. And in fact, the most uncivilized acts have been or have occurred underneath the guise of the government, right? War, right? That's, the largest, government is the largest mass murderer of all time, right? Any government, pick one, right? If you have one, they've murdered some people, and they are by orders of magnitude, the largest mass murderers of all time. And so, the argument, I always tell people, there's a difference between government and society. Most people can't get their heads wrapped around that there is a difference. Society exists independently of government. Society is the people around you, your community, folks who, are otherwise wanting to be productive members and, treat human beings like human beings, right? That's society. That's civilized society.
And when they recognize the difference, they come to the conclusion somehow that government is what created the society.
Yeah. I've had people, they're one and the same thing, right? No, they're not. They're not the same thing. In fact, they are two completely different things. One is a violent organization who points guns in your direction if you don't do what they say. The other one is like your family, your friends, your neighbors, your community, and all that kind of a thing.
Yeah. There's definitely a bit of a qualitative difference there.
Yeah. Reason number 7 not to vote. participation in the system implies that the majority knows what's best for everyone. I don't know about you. We talked about it a minute ago, but when a large quantity of people gets together and makes a decision for everybody else, it's generally dumb.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the average person making their own decisions is usually going to make pretty bad decisions because I don't know what's best for me.
Well, you know better than anybody else.
Yes, but I'm clueless on the subject. I just kind of do what I want. And most of it, really not that great idea.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean,
just being out there smoking a cigarette. That's a terrible idea.
But who's more qualified to run your life than you?
Oh, by far. No one.
Nobody, right? Like, and I don't mean the co-host for, known as nobody. I mean, like, not any single person on the face of the planet is better, suited to tell you how to live your life than you are. You're familiar with yourself more so than anybody else. You're more in tune with your preferences and your, life's journey than anybody else is. Why on earth would you ever want somebody else to have that power over you?
And they're basically saying here that under the Democratic Republic system, it's basically a bunch of people voting what color shirt you have to wear.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's more messed up than that. It's far more immoral. But how would they know what color looks best on everyone? They don't.
And you're kind of, in effect, calling yourself a moron by voting. You're like, oh, I'm not smart enough to run my own life. I can't make decisions. I want everybody else to make my decisions for me.
Yeah, I can't just buy a toilet that doesn't use up more water than I want to use. No.
Yeah.
I need the government to do it for me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
It is. More reasons not to vote. Of course, you can talk about whatever you'd like. That number's 855-450-3733. Or you can use the Discord call-in lines, which you can find at discord.freetalklive.com. Again, 855-450-3733.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
From the admission of Ant Colony 000082567 KLN 00067X into the Union in 1897, to the day in 1817 when embarrassed construction workers realized they put the Erie Canal in the wrong place. The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On August 5th, 1962, Nelson Mandela was jailed until 1990, becoming fully rehabilitated through the South African penal system. And thanks to the services provided to him while imprisoned, emerged from jail a successful politician and internationally revered symbol of peace. Mandela's record of overcoming hardships and moving South Africa beyond its formidable racial struggles is a lasting testament to South Africa's correctional facilities,
and prove that the penal system's small cells, demeaning work duties, and minimal rations are exactly the tools needed for a prisoner to truly become a reformed citizen.
This is the Onion News Network.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you, it's Aria.
I'm Ian.
And I'm the captain.
And I want to tell you about LibertyCon. It's a unique Liberty Convention, April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purposes of career advancement or business and internship opportunities. You can hear from a list of incredible speakers like the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder, John Mackey, who's going to speak on conscious capitalism, Vernon Smith, who has a Nobel Prize in economics and is going to speak on alternative markets. There are so many more. Nassim Taleb, who spent 21 years as a risk taker, a quantitative trader. We talked about that last Monday. It was very fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. I would love to hear that. And there's more. Visit LibertyCon.com for more details on additional speakers and events, and use the code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. Again, that's LibertyCon.com. Now, we've been talking about reasons not to vote.
We have. And in fact, right quick, I just want to get to the 10th reason. Number 10, by voting, an individual literally advocates the use of force
okay, do they know what literally
people.
means?
I'd probably not. But this is just what's written. So we've gotten through 10. We were talking off air a little bit about this, and Ian has some things he'd like to say.
Look, okay, so I was listening to as much of it as I could on the way. I'm driving on the roads of New Hampshire, so sometimes there's a signal dropout or whatever.
Sure.
But I've definitely heard a lot of these before. I'm actually surprised they've come up with 20 reasons. I suspect a lot of this is kind of very similar.
It's kind of repetitious. Number 6, 7, and 8 are all kind of the same.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that in here. But let's go back to real fast number 1 here, the idea that you consent by voting. And I heard you regurgitate this particular point earlier, Captain, and that is that I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that when I vote or that when I've registered to vote, I have not consented to the system. In fact, when I actually registered to vote here for the first time in New England or New Hampshire like a decade plus ago, there actually was a term on the registration form that said you agree to abide by all the laws of the state. I crossed that out and signed the form, and they still accepted it.
Well,
so that's BS. And by the way, most voter forms don't say that. They've actually gotten rid of that particular terminology since then.
Well,
so
and you're
that's just fantasy.
You're you, so of course you're going to do that. The majority of the people aren't going to.
What you're saying is it's actually not true, that claim.
What I'm saying is the majority of the people who cast their vote aren't going to cross out the section that they know better than to, you know what I mean?
Sure, but that section doesn't exist anymore, and it doesn't exist on most voter forms. So that's just not a true statement. It's just the fantasy that these people who write these lists have come up with to justify not voting. And that's fine. If you don't want to vote, then don't vote. I mean, it takes up your time. That's like a good reason not to vote, is it takes time.
I mean, it only takes a few minutes, really.
Sure. In some places, there's like a line, though. I mean, not around here, but in some places. If you get there at 7 a.m. and it's like a big election, there might be a slight line. You got to drive out of your way maybe to go to the vote. I mean, there's some reasons not to vote. Like, you're busy. Don't do it. But to suggest that you're consenting to be ruled, it's ridiculous.
Is voting not forcing your preferences upon other people?
Of course not, because the government gang is going to be there doing their thing whether you turn out or not. And they don't care whether you show up or not to vote. They're going to go ahead and force their preferences on you anyway.
Okay, so then why vote?
Because you could possibly reduce the violence.
In what way?
Well, if there's, for instance, a vote on a tax item, for instance, to increase taxes. And there have been votes like this.
Sure.
When I left Florida, there was a vote to increase the sales tax in Sarasota County by 1%, to go up from 7% to 8%. And they had like school children out on the side of the road waving signs like, "Do it for me," like stuff like this. And,
of course.
And so, if you'd voted no on that, then you would have helped to try to prevent the tax from going up. In nearby town here to Keene, New Hampshire, they had a vote on a shiny new fire truck, like a $200,000 vote item, because in towns, the townspeople make decisions on things like that, rather than like in a city like in Keene, where it's the city council that decides those things. And Mark missed that vote, and it lost by one vote.
Oh,
what I mean, it
won by
the thing
one vote.
passed,
Yeah.
so it passed by one vote. So, like, is that what you're talking about?
I mean, for me,
well, we did raise this point earlier about the differences between voting for representatives and voting in referendums.
Okay, but what if the representative is somebody like Aria DiMezzo, who's running for county sheriff?
We also brought up the distinction between local and federal and state level.
No doubt. I did hear some of that. And obviously, federal level votes are pretty indistinct and pointless.
Yeah, you're dropping a giant ocean.
But still, these people are against voting. Okay? They're not discriminating one level or not. They're saying if you vote, you consent. And that's just total BS, because I don't consent. And the fact that I go and vote doesn't mean that I've all of a sudden consented to be ruled.
So in the free society that libertarians, sort of want to achieve, does voting still exist?
I don't know. I guess that would be up to the organizations that you're in. I mean, there are organizations that hold votes for like board members and deciding on whatever spending things.
And again, there's voting with one's wallet.
Yes. And there's that. And
so voting would certainly still exist in some form.
If voting is consensual, then that's fine.
So I think we need to make the distinction between voting for government versus voting for anything else.
Okay, well, there's that distinction, but I'm still talking about voting for government here. When I vote, I'm not voting for government. I'm doing what I can to vote to restrict the criminal gang, to reduce the number of lashings that they dish out, to reduce the number of people that they put into cages.
Attempt to.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Nobody, our co-host. His name is Nobody. He changed his name legally, and he's going to run in the election, the primary for governor here in New Hampshire. I'm going to vote for him, and if he by some miracle actually defeats the incumbent in the primary, I will vote for him with pride in the general election. He says he's going to pardon all nonviolent drug offenders, and all nonviolent offenders, period, who don't actually have a victim. So, like, if that could happen, why wouldn't I want to participate in something like that? I mean, that seems like the moral thing to do in that particular case. Rather than these people just, their viewpoint is that you're legitimizing the system. Really? Well, now what I'd like to know from everyone who believes this, and it sounds like you believe it, do you pay taxes?
They take taxes.
Oh, I see. But does that mean that you're legitimizing the system?
No, it doesn't.
No? Because, I mean, you don't have to pay them, right?
Actually, I do.
Really? So, like, when you buy that house that you are thinking about buying, you could choose not to pay the tax on the house.
Well, sure. But I could also choose to suffer the consequences.
Right.
Which would be?
They might steal your house from you.
They will steal my house from me, and if I resist them taking my house, they will send armed men with guns to come and get me. And if I refuse to go with them, they purport the authority to shoot me.
Okay, you're
and end my life. So just by protesting them stealing from me, I put my life in danger, up to and including death.
Right. So
that is a system I want zero part of.
The people who are not voting, but are paying taxes are actually contributing to the system. So, I want to know how many taxes they actually avoid if they want me to take them seriously.
Tell us your thoughts, 855-450-3733.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
I'm Ian.
I'm the captain.
For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping to build one at liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's even a bit of a social network aspect to it so that you can connect and share with others. However, use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and for those who choose to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. So put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. Again, that's Liberty.menu. Now, we've been discussing reasons not to vote. And although we've disagreed with the author of this article in a few places, we have largely agreed with the spirit in which it was written, I suppose. And Ian disagrees.
In a whiny spirit about just making excuses for doing nothing. Because that's what these people who are anti-voters are doing. They're constantly looking down their nose at somebody who wants to participate in a system to try to reduce the violence in the system, which is, for me, the purpose of participating in the system is to try to stop it from hurting peaceful people, and by voting for principled liberty candidates, which we have here. And I can understand why somebody would be frustrated if all they had to choose from was like Republican crap can candidate A or Democrat crap can candidate B. I get that. That's frustrating. Stay home. Fine. But here in New Hampshire and some other places, you do get the chance to actually vote for somebody who's got some principles and who may actually apply those principles when they get into office. But the whole idea of you're legitimizing the system is sort of the overarching theme of a lot of these objections here. And I think paying taxes legitimizes the system a heck of a lot worse than participating in the voting system. Not to mention also obeying the system legitimizes the system. So the more people do those things, the worse off we are. Voting is a trivial activity that really is insignificant as far as everything is going. But if you actually empower the state by giving it your money, you are literally committing, to killing other human beings. Now, I understand if you're under duress. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, I don't disagree that financing the system is far more damaging than
and that's what I want to know
vote.
from these people is how many of them are financing the system. Not just looking at you, Captain Kickass, but how many of these people writing these articles and looking down their noses at you voted, you're empowering the system. Well, yeah, how much money did you give the system this year? Because I'll tell you one thing: if everybody stays home, which is what these people want, right? They want to convince everyone to stay home. Got news for you. If you need to convince everyone of something in order for your thing to, to work out, it's not going to work out. And because one thing's for sure, you're never going to convince the bureaucrats to stay home, right? They get paid to go out there and vote. That's their system, and they're going to keep going out there and voting. But yet there have been elections where no one has voted, maybe because it's such a small town and the bureaucrats were busy doing something else, or the politicians just couldn't make it to the polls. They figured they were a shoo-in, so nobody came out. The 0 votes were tallied, and guess what happened?
Somebody still won.
They folded up the government and went home. I'm kidding. No, they kept it going. Yeah. And you know what? They all paid their taxes.
There is a
non-voters.
running theory that even if only 2 people show up to vote for any election, let's just say the presidential election, that somebody's still going to win. Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if no one shows up, they have methods for that. They'll do a coin toss. There's different methods for if no one shows.
Now, before we dive further into this, we need to go to the phones because he's been sitting on hold for a few minutes.
I have something to say.
I'm sure.
We've got Larry from Indiana. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I was going to talk about this article I read in an old book that I have, but since you guys are talking about taxes, you can't escape taxes. I was really shocked this morning when I went out to get coffee, right? And before I came back home, I had given the state of Indiana over $2.80
for coffee.
Now you just would not for a couple other various and sundry things I bought too, but at $2.80. You just imagine all the people that are paying that, and when you buy gas, you can't escape. So you're dreaming you're in La La Land if you think you're going to escape taxes. And
I agree.
As far as property and what taxes are, now that we've been laxed and not been on our government, what we do is we give the money to the politicians, right? And then they turn around and deal it out to their friends and tips and other campaigns that they have. I was listening to a program over in Cincinnati last night where they had so-called tip districts. That's where they retain a certain portion of the money that's paid in a taxing district, right? And then they hand it out to other businesses that say they want to come in and start, not thinking that if you have to come and beg for money to have development, then you really don't have a business. If you had to get one penny, that you get on your own. So we have lost that. And as far as our politicians will take us, as far as we allow them to do, but taxes, you're not going to get away with that because they've got taxes, and every turn you make, every move you make, you're going to be paying taxes.
Well, certainly, but putting gasoline aside for the moment, there's no sales tax in New Hampshire, and there's no income tax in New Hampshire. So let's forget about property tax for the moment as well. If you erase those two things, how much tax revenue is the state of New Hampshire really collecting from the people of New Hampshire?
Well, through property tax, quite a bit. You can't just put that aside. I mean, that's where they put the bulk.
Right,
but one could, in theory, escape those by not owning the property.
Listen,
you're still paying them as a renter.
No, but they put the burden on your essential thing, like your home. If anything should be exempt from taxes, right, that should be the place where you live.
I would agree with you there, yeah.
In most states, they have put so-called property taxes on, and that just means that your taxes can't be raised unless you have a referendum.
Right.
So I think is, a referendum, like our kids need to be guarded more in schools. We need to get $50 million. We need to have a mass transit. We need $50 million. And before you turn out, you just rather stay with the whole system. But that's just a sign of the times. And you know what I think is really at the bottom of it all?
No,
they
Larry,
are
what?
now. I was at I told you I was with a city council meeting last night. They are delegating their taxing authority to certain communities. They have an 8-person board that can raise taxes to do improvements in their community, and that's just a way of saying you can tax the poor people out of your community without any action on our part. So they'll look to you, but they can't do nothing after they're gone. So I just think when we start having our governments taking our money at gunpoint and then turn around, giving it to their friends, that's what we've lost control of the whole system.
But it's been that way the whole time.
Yeah, we've never had control over it. It's institutionalized theft. It's institutionalized theft. I don't think anybody in this room or on this show currently, including you, Larry, would disagree that taxation is theft.
I would say it's extortion, which is worse.
If you want to get technical, sure.
They used to help people that paid the taxes, right? Now they blatantly, they only do that. Either they have some program to protect junkies or give some junkie treatment or something, and they end up spending more money on the junkie than they end up than
what
they
do you
would
think
spend
about
like
cancer patients, Larry?
Well, listen, they got the problem too because they probably bought it on themselves. But the thing about it is, people are trying to capitalize on sickness and infirmity. Like some woman the other day was on the radio talking about her son died of diabetes. Now she's going to start a foundation and write a book on about how she felt when her son died from diabetes. But you go to the supermarket and you see shopping carts full of soft drinks. They know that's the connection right there, but they won't stop doing that.
Well,
damn,
Larry, thank you so much for the call. I don't know. Is there a way to escape taxes that ultimately won't catch up to you? Because that's what it's all about, right?
Become a church.
That's a great idea. Are there other ways, though? Because not everybody wants to do that.
Move to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. 855.
Why don't you move to Somalia?
450-3733. If you come up with a way to avoid taxes, let us know.
Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on, so it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people and can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Dahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. shopsupertea.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. Give us a call and let us know what is on your mind. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And the captain.
And the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe with only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes that allows anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in more than 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more about it at divvyproject.org. One more time, that's divvyproject.org. Now, before we got to the phones there, you had a statement you wanted to make to Ian in regards to voting.
I just wanted to, sort of say what my path of logic is. And, if Ian wants to pick that apart and tell me where the logic falls apart, I'm, happy to listen. Government is the monopoly over the initiation of force in a geographic area, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And so I don't ever want to force my preferences and opinions on anybody else. I would much rather, use convincing arguments, use facts and evidence to, get people to sort of, come to the conclusions that I've come to. And so if government is the initiation of violence in a geographic area, the monopoly over the initiation of it, then why would I ever want to deploy that upon other people, regardless of my noble intent, right? Like,
well, you're not.
Why? How wouldn't I be? If I vote, I'm deploying the government against other people.
Well, that's a nice opinion, but there's no evidence for that.
Yeah, again, that comes back to the idea that it's immoral to simply shoot a bullet from a gun because it's immoral to shoot somebody with the gun.
Voting doesn't convey any kind of information, right? So when you vote, you may have an intention, right? Like, yes. In my case, I'm voting to reduce the violence. Like, I want to choose this candidate because I think this candidate is going to do less violence. It's going to reduce the amount of people that are harmed. But the candidate doesn't know that. The candidate, all they see is, well, these people voted for me. They must love everything I say, or whatever. Who knows what goes through their heads. So, I mean, what you're saying isn't necessarily wrong, but it's also not necessarily right because each individual votes for different reasons. So if somebody votes for Donald Trump because they want to see the wall get built and see Mexicans thrown out of the country, that's different than somebody who votes for Donald Trump because they enjoy the laughter that he, engenders and, the fun of the Donald Trump presidency and the ridiculousness of it. Because whatever you do, they're going to do whatever they want, regardless of how you vote. So it really doesn't even matter. So then
what's the point of voting?
Well, there's very little point to it, especially at the federal level, as you guys already covered. But at the local level, there's definitely a point to it.
Still, I don't see where voting isn't forcing your preferences on somebody else.
Well,
don't vote for enforcing your preferences on someone else.
Well, I just don't vote, and therefore I don't force my preferences on anybody else.
I see what you're saying. So if Nobody, our co-host Nobody, if he wins the gubernatorial election here in New Hampshire, he will force his viewpoint on other people by releasing people from prison.
Right.
Darn it.
Even though I agree with the premise of him doing that,
yeah.
He is still in effect, right? If 51% of the people say we want him, in office for that position to do those things, and he gets in office and, unlike any other politician in the history of politics, fulfills his promises, right?
He would force the government to leave people alone.
He would force not only the government, but the people who didn't want him to release those people, force them into now they have released those people.
I'm not really that concerned with how those people feel, honestly. If they want to keep hurting peaceful people, I'm not going to shed a tear because they were, their system got dismantled. If they want to keep, giving money to violent people, they're still free to do that, if that's what they want to do. I mean, I get what you're saying, and you can opt out from the system and feel like your hands are clean. As long as you're not paying taxes and obeying the system and doing what they tell you. Because, again, a lot of these people who don't vote keep going along to get along. They keep, jumping through whatever hoops they're told to jump through. When they get fined by the government, do they pay the fine? I bet you most of them do.
Well, I mean, I
don't.
I opt out as much as I can. Wherever
I believe you,
I
man.
can, right?
I believe you. I want to know about these people who wrote this list.
How
many of them have gotten a speeding ticket and haven't paid it?
I don't actually know who the author is. It's from...
is it even signed?
I don't know.
Is there even an author on it? Give him credit, or her, or whoever it is. I want to know how many of them...
It is written and compiled by Robert Rajak.
Okay, Robert. How many tickets have you received in your life that you haven't paid? If it's all of them, you got my respect, brother. Because if all you're doing is not voting and trying to tell me you're going to change something, that's crap, because it's not going to change anything.
No, because there always will be at least one person who's willing to vote. And, libertarians
even
use
if
the
people
same...
stop voting, as long as they keep obeying, that's the real problem. The problem is the obedience to the state, because as soon as you stop obeying and paying, it's over for them. As soon as enough people stop, and you don't have to have everyone. If it were 10% of the people.
That's true. Yeah. You need a very vocal.
You'd grind it to a halt. Yeah. If 10% of the people who received parking tickets didn't pay the parking tickets, they'd have to toss them all out. They don't have time for that in court.
Yep.
If 10% of the people who got a speeding ticket didn't pay the speeding ticket, demanded a trial, they'd be overwhelmed with cases, and they wouldn't be able to build courts and judges, fast enough. They'd have to throw them out. But all these people who talk about not voting act like that's going to do something. I'm sorry. It's not going to end the state. It's going to do nothing to end the state.
I would like to point out, just at the very bottom of the article, they sort of summarize the 20 reasons, right? Let me just read it to you, and you tell me what you think. If you are not a voluntarist, then by definition, you are an involuntarist. And as such, personally advocate the initiation of force or threat of force against people who haven't threatened or harmed anyone. Therefore, for every person in the world, one of these two statements is true. I advocate a society where people are free to voluntarily interact with one another, or I advocate the use of force or threat of force against innocent people in order to make them comply with my opinions and preferences.
I think that's beautiful. I totally advocate for a voluntary society. I am a voluntarist.
I know you do.
And not only do I advocate for it, I will do things to try to forward that idea.
You are an activist.
Yeah, I will do things. Well, this guy's an activist because he wrote an article. But I want to know what else he does. Because that's good, trying to convince people of not voting. Oh, that's cool. But what's that really going to accomplish? Nothing.
See, I think cryptocurrency is a more viable method of halting the state.
Oh, I
totally
you
with
and
you,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, and I've talked about the ideas that stack on top of that, like the BitNation thing, right, where it literally forces governments to become competing service providers.
I thought you were
now.
against even forcing the government into doing things.
By forcing, I mean it literally changes them
competition.
into competing service providers by inventing a new and better way. Right, it's the Buckminster quote, right? Don't fight the reality that is. Instead, build a better model and deploy it, and that's how you enact change.
So, I mean, I don't necessarily think you're wrong about your moral belief that voting may, at some level, encourage the state or whatever. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth or whatever, but I think that ultimately, you can look at it as these people are a religion, right? And they have a very crazed religious belief, and we're not going to talk them out of it anytime soon. We're not going to convince them to not vote. We're not going to convince them to stop participating in their crazed religious system that is violent and based in violence. So accepting the idea that a large number of people will continue to believe in this system, then it is a harm reduction model to participate in voting.
I think some of what I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the voting in self-defense.
That's absolutely what I'm saying. Yeah.
I've heard this before, and I can't poke any holes in that. Right? If you are under duress
you're
by the state,
accepting that the state will put people under duress.
Yeah.
And so you are trying to reduce the duress.
Well,
that's all.
I mean, we all exist in a state of duress as long as the state exists.
It may not be successful, but I still have the right to complain. To come back to that other one, I absolutely have the right to complain because I'm participating. Come on.
That comes back to Father George, man. George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is that, the person is going to represent you, and even if the person you vote for wins, if you don't like what they're doing, you can still complain.
Yeah, and I will.
It's bizarre to say that they can't complain because they participated in the system.
And they don't represent me, and I'm under no delusion that they do. They represent only themselves. They couldn't possibly represent anyone else. And so, I mean, the whole system is BS, and it's garbage. But as long as it exists, I don't feel like it's immoral to cast a vote to try to reduce the violence.
Yeah, because it's going to do what it wants, by and large. I mean, if we actually voted for a bunch of libertarians who actually were going to keep their promises and go in and dismantle government...
How do we know that they're going to keep their promises when they get elected?
Well, there's actually a cool little group here in New Hampshire called the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance that tracks all that stuff.
And let's just assume that they will keep their promises. The state will come right back because people want the state. 855-450-3733.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. As a scientist, I know that Balance of Nature works.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476, silver at $16.94, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,236. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, drug recognition experts are arresting innocent sober people for DUI at an alarming rate, all based on a hunch. According to ABC 15 Arizona, stone-cold sober drivers in Phoenix, Arizona are getting DUIs and have to spend thousands of dollars proving their innocence. It seems the source of the misunderstandings and illegitimate arrests come from drug recognition experts. Those are cops with badges and fancy titles who claim they can look at a motorist and on observation alone determine if someone is impaired. Activists post reports that testimony from DREs often holds up in court without so much as a failed breathalyzer or a dirty toxicology report showing alcohol and drugs in someone's system. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Oakland City Council President Rebecca Kaplan recently suggested a plan to house up to 1,000 people from the city's homeless population on a cruise ship. But officials with the Port of Oakland have disputed the proposal, calling it untenable. The Mind Unleashed reports that during a recent meeting, Kaplan told members of the city council that she has already been in contact with cruise ship companies about the possibility of using their vessels for emergency housing for the city's homeless. Kaplan suggested that the ship could work similarly to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, a large old ship that is now docked in the harbor, acting as a hotel for tourists and other visitors to the area. Many members of the council are on board with the proposal, but it would need to be approved by the Port of Oakland, and they seem reluctant to allow such a cruise ship to dock in their port for an extended period of time. Mike Zampa, a spokesman for the port, told the Chronicle that Oakland's port was designed for cargo ships, not cruise ships. Oakland has seen a huge spike in homelessness over the past 2 years, with the number of people on the street rising from 1,902 to 3,210. For years, professional athletes have been subjected to drug tests that screen for cannabis. The Major League Baseball organization has now announced their new drug testing policies and associated penalties. Until now, the MLB was one of the few major sporting leagues that did not test its players for recreational drugs. While they did have an official list of banned substances for many years, they only actually tested their players for performance-enhancing drugs. The Mind Unleashed reports that's all going to change this year when they begin to test their players for cocaine and opiates. However, the league says that cannabis will be removed from their list of banned drugs and will be considered a recreational substance like alcohol. One ironic twist is that synthetic cannabis compounds will be screened for and treated as an abusive substance, as such chemicals have been known to be very harmful. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A dead iPod is remembered as expensive. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Despite heroic efforts at resuscitation, a third-generation 30-gigabyte iPod, serial number AP356372, was pronounced dead early this morning at the age of 2. The iPod's closest companion, Sarah Zartman, says she'll never forget the great music it used to play, nor will she forget the nearly $500 price tag.
I'll remember those 3,500 songs as long as I live. That iPod was convenient, portable, and really pricey.
Zartman added that had she known the iPod's lithium-ion battery would have such a short lifespan, she might have spent more time listening to it. AP356372 is survived by a BlackBerry. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
Hi, I'm Ian.
And I'm the captain.
And who doesn't like a little oral sex? Evidently, coming from wearelatinlive.com, a fellatio cafe exists now, and customers can receive oral sex while they drink their coffee.
They can, and how this doesn't exist already, I'll never know, which really just tells you that we don't have a free market, right?
Well, prostitution is illegal.
Right.
And that's why it's not legal.
Right. Sex services in general are illegal with the exception of Las Vegas?
Well, it's illegal in Vegas. It's the next county over where it's legal.
Okay.
In Nevada, you can only have legal gambling or legal prostitution, if I recall correctly.
You can't
cannot have
bet
both.
on the prostitutes?
I don't think so. Well, maybe you could from a different county. So if they had like a webcam in the county where it was legal to do prostitution, and then the betting went on in the county next door, then you'd probably be able to do it.
We need to talk about opening a business here after the show's over?
No.
So evidently, I'm just going to let them take it away because they do a better job with it. You've heard of happy endings.
I'm being told I'm wrong. Gene, the Christian anarchist, says all counties have gambling. So I don't know what the restriction is. Maybe they just individually decide on whether they want prostitution or not. I guess that's
it could be just done at the county level.
Yeah.
So you've heard of happy endings at seedy underground massage parlors. I've heard of them. Not convinced that it's really even a thing. Never having gone to try to get one.
I have never tried to go and get one. I've never been to one of these massage parlors, but it's a thing.
Doesn't the owner of the New England Patriots or the coach or whatever know something about that?
The owner got caught up in a sting operation down in Florida.
Is that Robert Kraft?
Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah.
Okay.
They had video of it, apparently.
Well, now you can get oral sex at coffee shops. At the end of this year,
shops, plural. Is the chain?
Evidently, probably a successful one.
I detect a franchise opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called Fellatio Cafe.
That's actually what it's called.
That's actually what it's called.
All right.
And it's opening in Geneva, Switzerland.
No point in beating around the bush on that one.
Is that a euphemism?
Maybe.
Everyone knows exactly what they're getting there.
You thought long and hard about that one, didn't you?
The firm behind the Swiss cafe, called Face Girl, says customers.
So it's not called Fellatio Cafe. It's called Face Girl.
Well, no, they're calling the cafe Fellatio Cafe. The firm that owns the cafe.
Oh, the company is.
Yes,
okay.
It's called Face Girl.
Gotcha.
They say that customers will be able to order coffee and then select a sex worker of their choice from an iPad to give them oral sex.
Okay.
Sounds better than Starbucks.
It sounds more expensive than Starbucks.
Yes, I can imagine.
I don't know. Starbucks is pretty damn expensive, man. I nicknamed it $4 back in the day because you can't get out of there for less than $4 no matter what you buy.
So it's evidently $50 more expensive. That's what their oral sex service costs.
Hold on. So is it legal to do prostitution in, what did you say, Switzerland?
Switzerland.
Is it legal there?
Evidently.
Okay.
I mean,
because I didn't know if they were like, a $50 cup of coffee and then you get a free BJ to go along with it. You're not paying for the BJ.
Right. Yeah, some sort of loophole to, right.
Although usually that they cover those loopholes in laws against prostitution. Like, you can't give away a drink in New Hampshire. Like, it's illegal to give people drinks apparently in New Hampshire or something, from what I understand. Like, depending on how you read the law, like essentially any distribution of alcohol without a license is a crime.
Wait, so if I buy
do this
a round,
like every time we go to the bars, right?
Well, there it's a legal dealer who's giving the alcohol, so there it's okay. But if you like buy a 6-pack and you're at your house and you give one to your friend, as I understand it, that's actually a crime. It's just not enforced.
That sounds a lot like the airplane bottles on the airplanes, right? Like you can bring your own airplane bottles onto a flight, but you cannot open it yourself.
Really?
You have to legally, right? I mean, I've been on plenty of planes where I brought airplane bottles and I opened it myself.
Yeah, nobody's going to know.
But apparently, to be in compliance with the letter of the law, what you need to do is summon the attendant, right? Press the little button and get the person in the uniform to come over. Be like, will you please open this for me? And then they open it and hand it back to you so that you're technically not serving yourself. They have served you.
It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But my point was going to be that if you try to get around certain laws, like, well, I'm not selling alcohol, I'm selling you a pencil and you're getting a free bottle of alcohol. I'm not selling a BJ, I'm selling you a cup of coffee. They usually have prohibitions in the laws that cover that stuff.
They don't here in New Hampshire for prostitution and recording, however.
That's true. You can make a sex tape in New Hampshire, pay a girl money for the sex tape, and then never publish the sex tape.
Right.
And it's completely legal.
And then arguably you could delete the tape.
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you have the intention of distributing the thing, and then your intention could change after you create it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a terrible shoot.
The lighting was awful. Yeah.
So, as always, critics blasted the proposal, claiming that only developers would benefit from the business. But alas, prostitution is legal in Switzerland as long as the sex workers have permits.
Okay.
That's a strange idea to me. I'm sorry. Before I can pay you for this oral sex, I need to see your permit. Did the government approve you to give people oral sex in exchange for money?
That's like the in the state of Washington, they have the food handler's permit. This is for anybody that works in a restaurant. You must first go take this government class and then pay a government fee for them to give you a card that says you've taken the government class and now you are certified to be able to flip a burger.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. I think that most states have that, as I understand it.
I grew up in a time where that didn't exist.
So they say they'll be doing business by the end of the year. Sounds like a good time to vacation in Switzerland.
Books, flights to Switzerland. Putting that in my reminder calendar.
A lot of money
now.
for a BJ.
That's true. It is.
It's the novelty.
I mean, it would be easier to just go to it is the novelty. But it would still be a lot easier to just like go to a bar here and find some drunk college chick.
Is that easier?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're probably going to pay for it somehow, right?
Either
Whether
way.
it's paying for the booze or, actually subscribing to the service.
But would a drunk girl be as good as a professional? A sober professional?
Maybe not. But the gap between worst oral sex and best oral sex is really small.
Okay.
And there are bigger problems to complain about if poking someone in the face isn't going how one would like.
Gotcha.
So.
Indeed.
It does sound
But
like a
you're
franchise
correct.
opportunity. I will say that.
It does.
And, of course, not around here, but in the United States, they do have like the tiki bar kind of concept where it's hot girls basically serving
Oh, right.
Coffee or whatever. They had that down in Sarasota where I was from, and I never got to go to one, but it was always interesting driving by as a kid.
Yeah, they
they
have
there?
those. I'm trying to remember what they're called in the state of Washington, in Seattle in particular, and they will frequently get busted for prostitution,
like the topless
the
coffee
topless
shops,
coffee shop, or even just the bikini baristas.
Yeah.
Right? They'll run sting operations. They'll find out that for an extra $10, they'll take their top off. For while they're making the guy's coffee or whatever. Right? Kind of a thing. And then the cops will swoop in.
Ridiculous.
Because they've harmed so many people by doing so.
It's because the cops are horn dogs,
and
that's why.
Yeah.
They want to put
It's
their
all
hands
forms
all over 'em.
of prostitution, though, Captain. You alluded to this a moment ago, and you're correct. Ultimately, you're going to pay one way or the other. Whether it's by having a girlfriend whose complaints you have to listen to and take seriously, or whether it's buying her drinks, or whether just giving her cash and then making her go away afterward.
I'm trying to remember the comedian, too, who said, basically all women are prostitutes.
Well, so are all men.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but you're going to pay for it one way or another, whether their price is $100 or it's marriage and a lifetime of bliss, right? That's some form of payment is happening.
I'm not sure I would describe marriage as bliss, but I get
You were
the
married,
point.
right?
I was married. 855-450-3733. What do you think about oral sex at coffee shops? 855-450-3733.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark at freetalklive.com. I I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And Ian.
And the Reverend Dr. Captain Kickass, the human pump handle slamming machine, Buckshot Esquire, if you will.
All right, that was a...
Yeah, but can you make coffee?
No, I leave that to the bikini baristas.
So I'm really excited that Fork Fest is coming up. It's like 6.5 months away now.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's the end of June. It's the 29th until July the 5th. That's right. Fork Fest has the 4th of July weekend at Rogers Campground. For the
first time ever.
Yeah, for those who care about the 4th of July, I imagine
I like to call it Independence Day.
Okay, that works. I mean, the independence from the British Empire was worth celebrating, I suppose.
It's time to do it again.
Yes, it absolutely is. Well, join us for the Independence Day weekend at Rogers Campground. We're going to be there from June the 29th until the July the 5th. I don't know
That's
who
a
we
whole
are.
week. Yeah.
But I'll be there.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It was great fun last year. Last year was the biggest we had ever seen it. And
I hear you're giving the ladies an excuse to show up this time around.
I am. We're hosting Ladies' Night Out. Daily and nightly. It's just going to be a permanent sort of site we have set up there for ladies to just come and chill and drink. And some people are going to be selling, soaps and scented flowers and stuff like that. Not scented flowers, obviously, but scented
girly
soaps.
stuff.
Yeah, things that ideally girls would like.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great. You got to come out to check it out. That's
right.
June the 29th until July the 5th at Rogers Campground here in the White Mountains of New Hampshire.
No ticket.
No ticket required.
Just get your camping site. You're good to go.
Yep. Pork Fest, there's nobody in charge to even sell a ticket. So if somebody tries to sell you a ticket, they're scamming you. Don't do it. But go
unless they have their own special event on their own campsite that is exclusive, and they are selling tickets for that. But yeah, there's no Forkfest tickets.
You are correct. Yeah. So anyway, we have Amazon news. We were talking about the Amazon Ring fiasco.
Off the air?
Yeah, off the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that brought in another story about Amazon. Evidently, they're shipping enough packages that they're basically competitors with FedEx and UPS now.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw this headline.
That's a lot. I mean, that's to be distributing that many parcels.
Yeah, that's what shocked me about it, because I knew they were going that direction because they have their own Prime delivery service. I mean, I don't know. You're from Seattle, so you know that Amazon is. I don't know if their home base is in.
It is,
right?
Headquarters in Seattle.
So that's where they're doing like some of the experiments where they have that Amazon store where you can like go in and you scan your Amazon app at the like there's like a turnstile, I guess. So you go in, you take whatever you want from the shelves and walk out.
Yeah, they're doing the pay with your hand thing, right? Where they take a scan of your hand, and then that scan of your hand, instead of doing like face recognition or eye recognition, that scan of your hand is then in their database. And when you go through the thing, you put your hand in this thing and it scans your hand, and that's tied to your Amazon Prime account.
So you've been in there and done this?
I haven't been in there, but this is
you're
same
talking
store?
About the store. It's the same store, okay. Because I remember when we were first reading about it, it was you were going to use their app, but now they're doing biometrics. Huh?
Yeah, well, they're experimenting with it, right? And so I used to live in
either or.
I used to live in South Lake Union, which is the shadow of Amazon, right? The Amazon. Everybody that lives in that neighborhood either works for Amazon or has worked for Amazon or is in some way, reliant
servicing
upon
the people
Amazon.
that,
and so, but that store is in Seattle, and they're using that store to incubate any future ideas, and so you see it happen in that store first.
So I've never seen an Amazon truck shipping anything, right?
I saw the first one that I've ever seen, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was in Hillsboro, and I saw, which is just a crappy little town in New Hampshire in the middle of nowhere, basically. There's a nice taco place that sells tacos for cryptocurrency. In fact, we're going there tomorrow for a crypto meetup. But the last time I was in Hillsboro, I saw like one of those kind of work van looking vans, but it had the Prime smiley face on the side of it. It didn't have the word Amazon on it, but it was obviously their logo. And one of the things that they've been working on is rolling out their own delivery trucks, because what they've been doing is, until recently, they've been contracting with the United States Postal Service. Conan, our Tuesday night co-host, he delivers for the USPS, and he works on Sunday. Normally you don't have Postal Service on Sunday, right? Like that's not a Postal Service day. But the Postal Service is on the roads on Sunday exclusively delivering for Amazon.
Right.
That's all they do on Sundays.
Really?
Now, I know that in Seattle, they have a whole boatload of subcontractors, people who own their own pickup truck or van or
That's
whatever.
what they're doing.
Is that what?
They're going to those contractors and they're saying, all right, we want you to be our Amazon Prime or whatever delivery guy, and so they're giving those guys the opportunity to sort of franchise, if you will, and become an Amazon delivery person, like officially get the logo and go all in. And so that's the last I heard, was that they were kind of rolling out these trucks or whatever. Well, it turns out they've also got a fleet of airlines moving packages around. The story from The Verge, they've been steadily growing their logistics operation over the last decade, and it now delivers more than half of all Amazon packages in the United States, according to an estimate from Morgan Stanley published last week and reported by CNBC.
Good Lord.
Now, how many packages is that?
That's a lot, right? Amazon.
I imagine it's a lot, but I would like a number.
I don't know. We'll see if we can find that out here. But it's a staggering increase over the course of the last few years. It means Amazon, which now operates its own freighters and cargo planes, is accelerating its push to own the entire logistics chain and end its relationship with companies like FedEx and UPS. So that's their goal.
Well, and the U.S. Post Office.
Yeah, presumably, yeah. So their goal is to cut out those people from the picture. They want to be able to send the package straight from the shipping center to people who are associated with Amazon, in their hands to the end customer. And at the current rate, Amazon is set to pass both FedEx and UPS in U.S. package volume, with the company currently delivering 2.5 billion packages per year compared to FedEx's 3 billion and UPS's 4.7 billion.
I love it. Amazon Prime costs me like, $13 a month or something?
Yeah, something like
and
that.
Everything gets shipped to me for free. No additional charge. I've never had Amazon contact me and say that my package couldn't be delivered because there was snow on the ground. Right?
No, but I have had where you check on your orders and it's like, oh, your shipment is being delayed. It was held up in wherever, right, some city or whatever, and it'll be delayed for like a day or something like that.
But was that being delivered by FedEx or UPS?
That I don't know. It's just when you go to the tracking tab and your orders on your Amazon account. Amazon is an absolute behemoth. They're able to do things no other entity can do. And they deliver booze in the state of Washington where it's illegal to deliver booze.
Huh?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, I don't know how.
I've never thought about trying to order booze.
They've achieved some sort of exemption within Washington
bribed
State.
Somebody.
I'm sure they were because who hasn't had the idea for a booze delivery service?
I have.
I have.
Yeah.
Right, and I've been thinking about to do it. And there are a couple of websites that popped up that were trying to do this. Right, one's called Drizzly, DRIZLY. They're trying to do this, but Amazon can not only deliver booze, they can deliver it in under an hour. In Seattle, Washington. Yeah. You can get online, and they're like, it'll show up in an hour.
So, these guys are just getting started, apparently.
Don't they use the drones for delivery services in Seattle as well?
I don't know if they do that yet, but it's coming.
855-450-3733. Maybe all of this means that we can ultimately get rid of the United States Postal Service.
Oh, I wish.
They should just start doing mail service.
Would it be nice to wake up in the morning whenever you want and work whenever you feel like it? Date women under your terms instead of society's? Be a completely free man? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Free Talk Live.
You got to give those guys credit, though. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they've established this for themselves. And who are the Hispanic leaders? Who are the Chinese leaders? It's a brilliant marketing plan on their part to get them radio interviews and all kinds of appearances and sell books for them. But otherwise, that's really all it is for them.
Right, and then when you call them out exactly what you said, if you are a black person, you are supposed to get upset when they tell you to get upset. Me and a lot of other people who are black, we've grown up. I'm 55 going on 56. I don't see color. I see people. I see behavior. I see morals. I see values. I don't see the color of a person's skin. That does not dictate how I should interact with that person. Their behavior, their morals and values dictate how I interact with them.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, My name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria.
And I'm Ian.
And I'm the captain.
Do you want to reach more people with the ideas of liberty? Well, do it from the back of your car with libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know people love to read them. Check out the vast selection of witty, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at libertystickers.com. Once more, that's libertystickers.com. Now, we're talking about Amazon Prime here, or just Amazon in general. Prime is one of the many services they offer. Have either of you ever used Amazon Prime TV, whatever they call it?
Why, I used it just recently to binge watch The Expanse, my favorite science fiction television program.
Did you find it to be worth it?
I mean, as a guy who knows how to acquire files of any TV program, no. But I actually had canceled my Prime and just had a regular Amazon account. I know that's unheard of. You can do that? Yeah, you can. Canceled my Prime. And then I actually resubscribed to Prime just so I could watch this particular television show on the night that it dropped, right? Because I'd have to wait arguably a day before quality files would show up, in the usual places.
You are a fan.
So, yeah, I mean, and also, too, this was the first for this particular show where it was going to be commercial free. And also,
is that normally a thing with Amazon? They put commercials in?
Well, no, but previously it wasn't an Amazon program.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon,
is this the first season?
This is the first season that's got the Amazon money, and you can tell right away the special effects are cooler, right?
Interesting.
They did, it's a better production overall because now it's got the Amazon money behind it.
Is it different where, normally if you're creating a television program and there's commercial breaks, there's usually like mini little cliffhangers during the show, like somebody's about to get killed, but then they get out of it, right? Like after the commercial break or whatever. Does that kind of change now that they don't have commercial breaks? Does it like change the structure of
I believe
the
it
show?
does, because now if you were going to, say, have this particular season in syndication later on, right? Like running on, I don't know, some, network television, independent
Amazon
station.
TV.
Somewhere.
Coming later.
Like, but I will say what they did, well, let me finish my thought on that, is the commercial breaks would be not sort of intuitive, right? Like you're saying, when they write these programs, they would write in like a little bit of a cliffhanger to like, oh, now the commercial's coming up because someone's
in jeopardy.
Right? It's going to be like the commercial breaks are going to be more abrupt, when this airs on regular ass TV or whatever, right?
If it ever does.
Right. But I will say what they did do, because I binge watched the entire season. They played commercials in between episodes, right? So I was using the Amazon.
Even though you are a subscriber, they're still playing ads.
Still playing ads.
Interesting.
In between episodes. I can't say. In fact,
hold on. Are they advertising only Amazon things?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So, like, I saw commercials for other Amazon television programs, right?
Okay.
Other Amazon services, that kind of a thing, but only in between the episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
And because I was using the web player, there's no like remote involved, so it just plays the next episode. What did kind of piss me off a little bit was the web player stopped after like episode 7. It just didn't go to episode 8 for some reason.
It probably assumed you were asleep. But before we dig further into it, let's go to the phone. So we got Dodger calling. Dodger, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello, lady and gentlemen. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not used to talking on my headset. So at either rate, I don't live in a big metro area. I live in a metro area, but it just kind of surprised me when Ian, when you said that you saw a Prime truck for the first time. Yeah. Now I do construction, and so I go. One day I'll be at one end of town. Some other time I might be out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere. And it seems like something that our customers all have in common. They all must have Amazon Prime. And for example, I want to say Friday, the job site that I was working at literally had an Amazon Prime truck show up, the U.S. Postal Service show up, and FedEx show up, all with Amazon stuff, putting on the customer's porch.
Right.
Yeah, it's it was weird for me when I first saw those mail vans on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't work Sundays, but then I started seeing the mail vans, and then now I see these Prime trucks. I can't go a day without seeing at least one of them. In those work trucks. So I just thought it was kind of weird that in one day they had a Prime vehicle.
That's funny.
I forgot if it was UPS or FedEx, but they had one of them trucks and the United States Postal Service all dropping packages on these people's door.
Amazing.
I mean, it makes sense. Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's the holiday season. And so, like me, I do all of my holiday shopping on Amazon because I just don't feel like going out to the stores and dealing with that stuff. Granted, I don't have a Prime membership, so I just usually have to deal with the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx or
right. But wouldn't you agree it would be more efficient if instead of getting 3 delivery trucks out there to this person's house, they just had to send one?
That's what they're working
towards. And it was their own truck.
I've achieved 2 of the 3. I've not achieved the trifecta. I've had the U.S. Post Office deliver something from Amazon on the same day, a couple hours apart from UPS also delivering me something from Amazon.
You mean here in Keene?
Yeah.
Okay, right, because I haven't seen a Prime truck in Keene yet.
Right. So I haven't
achieved
the trifecta, but now I have something to shoot for.
Well, we're living in the woods, so I mean, it may be a little bit before we start seeing Prime trucks, which is why I was surprised to see one in little old Hillsboro.
Yeah, isn't Hillsboro more in the woods than Keene?
It is, but it's closer to Concord.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, Amazon certainly delivers a bunch of stuff. I mean, 2.5 billion
2.5 billion
packages.
That's Amazon's delivery. Then you add in, you go to FedEx, 3 billion, UPS, 4.7, and they're not talking about the amount. I don't think they're talking about saying FedEx has 3 billion Amazon packages. It's not clear. I don't think that's what they're saying. So it sounds like Amazon's volume is going to eclipse FedEx's volume at some point relatively soon.
Right. I'm assuming their figures for FedEx and UPS mean mixed.
Total.
Right. Yeah. Total.
Yeah.
Well, Dodger,
but I don't
thanks
know
for
that.
the call.
I don't either.
So what we're thinking here is that Amazon by itself is clearly delivering 2.5 billion packages, right? But FedEx
already.
Yeah, but FedEx and UPS, they deliver stuff from like Ipsy and Wish.com and other random places, as does the USPS. So some portion of the packages they're delivering aren't actually from Amazon. So Amazon is probably delivering most of their own packages.
That's what they're saying. That was the first claim in this story, according to CNBC. Amazon is now delivering more than half of their own packages, which means the remainder of them, less than half, are being delivered totally by USPS, FedEx, and UPS. So Amazon has more than half, and the other less than half is being delivered by the remainder of those companies.
So we can assume like 5 billion or something like that,
roughly,
half, right?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So I know that the USPS will just go back to delivering like market basket flyers and stuff that nobody wants to people's mailboxes. But what will UPS and FedEx do?
Yeah, their volume's going to go down big time. They're in trouble.
It already has. They're missing out on 2.5 billion packages they could be shipping.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be tragic for them. Of course, I've never known either of them to be especially reliable when it comes to package delivery services. I've had things get delayed by weeks at a time. Of course, I can't say that Amazon's better than that, never having had anything delivered by an Amazon truck. But if they can solve the problems of the carrier services, hey, more power to them.
They have freighters, according to this story.
Yeah, and cargo planes.
And cargo planes.
Amazon. Didn't it start out like somebody's garage or something?
Makes me want to wrap myself up and ship myself.
855-450-3733.
You gotta have air holes.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now, there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women. Here's Dr. Sonia Bacha on The Doctors.
So this is a product we're going to see if it works. It's called Instantly Ageless. And the idea is that it works very quickly, is you just need a very small amount, and then you apply it to areas where you might be a little bit puffy. I have just looked at what's in this product, and one of them is something called argireline, which is sort of a darling in dermatology right now. It's a peptide or a protein that actually relaxes the muscle. It's also called Botox in a bottle. The other active ingredient in this is silicates, which are almost like a clay. They're minerals, and they're making the skin sort of tighter. It's actually increasing the surface tension on the skin to push that herniated fat pad back.
Try Instantly Ageless today at GCNlife.com. That's GCNlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at GCNlife.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. If you're quick, you might still be able to get in on the air with us. 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Arya.
And Ian.
And Captain Kickass.
I want to thank Jay Lawrence. He's today's amplifier. Now, that means he's part of the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. So if you like what the show is doing and want to help us reach a larger audience, contributing to the AMP program is the best way of doing that. You can find it at amp.freetalklive.com. Jay Lawrence here is a silver member, which means he contributes $5 per month to the program. It comes with a number of unique benefits, like the AMP-only call-in line on discord.freetalklive.com, the AMP-only chat room on the same location, the AMP-only Facebook group, and some other cool little features. And we appreciate it. So thank you to Jay Lawrence, and thank you to the amplifiers. That's amp.freetalklive.com. Moving right along, let's jump straight into the phones. We got Mike calling from Gold Bar, Washington. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, Arya, Ian, and Captain Kickass.
What's up, Mike?
I hope that Boss Bill, the owner of this station, wasn't listening during the Swedish coffee. He's a very decent older gentleman, but he does listen once in a while. That's how he knows I call. Anyway, he told on the radio this morning he got some packages from Amazon, and he only had one package coming, but he got all three with his shipping label, but two of them were not his. And what do you do with that? Who knows, or what he will do with it? But it's kind of interesting, all this delivering they're making.
Wait, what
Sounds
you're
like
saying
Amazon gave him some stuff.
Wait, you're saying they misdelivered packages to him that were supposed to be sent to somebody else?
Well, they delivered him. He ordered one item. And he received his item, but he got two extra packages, but they had his shipping label on them, and he did not order them. So that's obviously a big problem nationwide for people that are missing something. It's on Boss Bill's front porch.
Now, does he like the extra items he received?
He just made mention of it this morning because he thought it was kind of odd. I don't know what he's going to do with the extra.
Normally what you do is you contact the shipper or you contact Amazon.
Well, they've got
his
name on them. According to the shipper, they're his. They've got his name on them.
I see what you're saying, but if you order something
so what it
and
sounds
they
like
deliver
is the
something to you,
labeling.
Hold on, Mike.
Usually the right thing to do would be to call the company or reach out to customer service and say, "Hey, I didn't order this stuff. What do you want me to do with it?" And then they'll either say, "Oh, well, we'll have you ship it back. We'll ship you a label. We appreciate it," or just keep it. We screwed up. Usually, it'll be one of the two things.
Yeah, because they all had his name on it. And what he guessed was the people actually putting those labels on or just slamming this stuff out and could care less.
Or is it possible that somebody ordered them as a gift for him? Because that's also something you can do.
Oh, now we might find that out tomorrow on his show.
Yeah, so
I never thought of that. Anyway, Arya, do you mind a quick little poem for you?
Ooh.
No.
Do you have red? Are you wearing? I'm not watching. Do you have red hair tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm scared. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no. Don't be scared. Those redheaded gals, they stick together like glue. You tell a secret to one, you've told the other one too. They run around town thinking they're so damn cool. How easy they forget. Nobody liked them in school.
I don't know if that's a nice poem or not.
I don't think it was.
No, it's the third. It's actually a third verse of a song, the Redheaded Wife song that I wrote. That's just the third verse, but I thought it would be kind of fun for Arya since she's a redhead today. Probably yesterday too, but anyway.
There you go.
All right, Mike.
There you go. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks so much for the call.
He's a poet, and I didn't know it.
Clearly.
Now you do.
It's about time he made a rhyme.
Let's keep going. We've got Mortified Penguin calling via the Discord line at discord.freetalklive.com. Mortified Penguin, what's on your mind?
Yeah, that was a sweet poem. But I wanted to call about. I don't know. I was tuned out for a segment or so, but I heard you talking about the Amazon subject, and I don't know. I mean, for a bunch of guys that talk about gals that talk about current events, just because where you're located, you might be a little bit behind the times. So I live more in the city, kind of an urban, not a huge major city, but an urban setting. And I gotta say, and what I do for a living, the different things that I do take me to different neighborhoods. And I mean, you are just, the whole world is just blanketed in these blue Mercedes-Benz like Sprinter vans, these Amazon vans.
Really?
They are just running logistics for the entire world. I mean, they're just going up and down every neighborhood, every street.
Wow.
Now, are you being hyperbolic, or are they actually driving around Mercedes delivering?
Yeah, well, they're
packages?
Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. They got the top of the line little cargo vans for sure, and they're all the exact same with the fresh Amazon paint job and the Amazon color. Oh yeah, and I still see some post office driving around on Sunday, so they must be using that to supplement, and they must be doing some other stuff. But they absolutely deliver the whole world, and they'll deliver the smallest thing to you, one thing at a time.
Yeah, so we're on the outskirts here, so we're not seeing it. We're out in the woods, literally here. And I actually pulled up the CNBC story because The Verge cited that, and there's more information here. According to Morgan Stanley, which is the company that estimated, and that's all we have here is estimates. They are the ones who estimated the 2.5 billion packages being carried by Amazon. And then you've got 3 billion packages at FedEx, 4.7 at UPS. They say we see more of this going forward as our new bottom-up U.S. package model assumes Amazon Logistics U.S. packages grow at 68% growth rate from 2018 to 2022. That would put Amazon Logistics at 6.5 billion packages per year by 2022, according to the firm, which would far exceed its estimate for UPS at 5 billion and FedEx at 3.4 per year. To us, they say Amazon Logistics is already large scale and with a fleet 1/5 the size of competitors. So you're seeing Amazon trucks everywhere, Mortified Penguin, but they're saying they're still a fraction of the size as far as the fleet is concerned than these other competitors, but yet they're doing a tremendous amount of volume for being 1/5 of the size. So that says to me they're way more efficient.
Yes.
Than UPS and FedEx.
Well, and it sounds to me like they're currently filling in the gaps of efficiency that exist because they're using the other two services,
Still,
right? Yeah. So this is referred to in the technology industry as like the last mile, right? You want coverage to the areas where those other two companies aren't real good at. Right, so those are the first areas you want to fill in.
Well, according to this, they say logistics of Amazon is more focused than its competitors on densely populated areas. According to Morgan Stanley's estimate, about 61% of their package volumes are from suburban areas, 28% are from urban areas, and just 11% are from rural, which means Amazon Logistics' rural focus is about half of its competitors, as the rest of the industry typically derives about 20% of their package volume from rural. So right now, Amazon is focusing on the cities and the suburban areas, and they're leaving out rural for the moment, it sounds like.
That's amazing.
That's probably the more sensible way to do it.
It costs more gas to go out in the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
Just pass that off to USPS.
Yeah, what they're able to do with these distribution centers all over the place and in the outskirts of these areas, if they're dense enough, you're getting one-day shipping on everything from watch batteries to shampoos to new sights for your pistol to, anything you want. One-day delivery. And they've got everything, and it's incredible. And obviously, you couldn't pull that off in a rural area, but they're really just supplying the whole world. It's like the Jetsons with the little tubes that delivered whatever you wanted. Like
you kind of can in a rural area.
There's no minimum shipments.
I forgot to order a Halloween costume until like the last minute, and the half of the outfit came the very next day, and I ordered it at like 2:00 in the morning. So technically, it came the same day.
Right.
Wow.
The rest of it didn't. The rest of it took 2 days, which was still within the time frame that I needed it. But being rural didn't keep me from receiving that package same day.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Maybe they had it in one of their distribution centers in Concord.
I've heard there's one. I heard there's one in Nashua, and I know there's definitely one in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of my parcels travel through Massachusetts. Occasionally, they'll come through Vermont somehow by way of like.
Must be New
Pennsylvania
York.
or something. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah,
well, anything they can do.
Amazing.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's amazing. They've really gone 2 day. They've replaced 2 day shipping now almost with most places with 1 day shipping, and there's no minimum amount. So they've got so many vans all over the place that you can order as small of a thing as you want, and they'll just drop it by one of these little bubble envelopes, and whatever you need, you get it the next day. There's no like, oh, you got to spend $35 for the free Prime shipping. No, I mean it's there. Boom, whatever it is.
Very cool. Well, Mortified Penguin, thanks so much for the call. Anything that can do to speed up the delivery service, I'm totally on board with, because the USPS sucks.
Oh yeah, and it has for a long time.
Yeah.
So if Amazon could just start delivering mail, that would be great.
Well, I think isn't that like the only thing that the USPS says that these other parcels can't carry is letters?
I don't know. Do they say they can't?
They cannot carry something under $1.
Oh, interesting.
So if your letter costs more than $1, you can give it to Amazon or UPS or whatever.
Huh.
Fascinating, and it would get there faster. I've had tremendous issues getting things here from the state of Mississippi, which, understandably, that's quite a good distance, but 3-4 weeks. Go check out freetalklive.com for the full archive going back more than 10 years.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, Bank